F1 has arrived at the Emilia Grand Prix circuit, ready for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, but unfortunately things are not looking good for Renault in particular, as the fuel crisis continues to cause problems. Renault employees are now beginning to hand in their notices and leave the team due to recent reports. Last week we found out that due to the fuel crisis going on, multiple protests were happening all around the world, with world leaders trying to meet up together to try and sort out the fuel crisis, as not enough fuel was being produced and dispatched towards the entire of the world. And this was causing problems all around, as people couldn't get the fuel. Now, a lot of the people were specifically targeting motorsport as the key problem, as of course we use so much fuel all around to do our racing, and people believe that if motorsport was never a thing anymore, then we would actually have the fuel. Now, of course, the FIA and Formula 1 are working together to try and showcase that the fuel that they use is not the same fuel that's used in standard petrol and diesel cars. One of the teams, though, that was very much unhappy with all of the protests and very much considering their own future within the sport themselves is Renault. Now, this is the second time that Renault have been involved in a predicament whereby they were set to leave the sport. If you remember 2 seasons ago, Renault confirmed that they were leaving the F1 at the end of the season. However, they would remain as an engine supplier for anybody that wanted to use their engines to give them a bit of a head start. So the team that basically took over Renault would then have a Renault powertrain for a season or 2 whilst they were able to develop their own. Renault then flipped this and decided to stay in Formula 1. Of course, they signed Gasly and Tom at the time. But this is the problem. Renault decided to leave Formula 1. That left many staff members not knowing who was going to take over, how the whole system was going to work. Then Renault decided to stay. And now Renault are considering leaving again because of the whole fuel crisis fiasco, and it's really causing problems. And a lot of people are deciding they don't want to be in a team that's just not really certain about themselves. One person that's definitely going to be leaving the team is Tom. He has also confirmed he's going to be looking elsewhere for a drive for the new regulation era in next season due to the team's uncertainty. However, Pierre Gasly has admitted his loyalty to Renault. He said that he's going to be staying despite the fact that there is so much uncertainty within the team. Alain Prost is a man that's very much hit out on all those that want to be leaving Renault, stating that he's very unhappy that all of these members of staff are deciding to leave amidst uncertain times within the sport. And Thomas said that he has decided that he's going to be leaving Renault at the end of the season, as he does not want to be within a team that is uncertain if they're going to be racing next season consistently. Crucial word there, consistently, as this is the second time now Renault are in a problem where they may be leaving at the end of the season. So many staff members are starting to leave. One of those is also Tom. Having a look then at the race news heading into this weekend, it was Ferrari that were fastest at their home circuit here in practice. Renault and Aston Martin showed great pace though, especially on their race simulations. One team that were not showing great pace on their race simulations was Audi. They were struggling with their tyre wear, a track where you pretty much want to be going for a one-stop race. Audi may have to push themselves into a 2-stop. Jaguar also finding themselves on the back foot. 2 teams that were very much at the forefront of the field last season and previous seasons before were definitely struggling to showcase that, and their miserable seasons may look set to continue here at the race. But of course, this is only Friday and Saturday morning. They have obviously had their time to try and get things under control. And Porsche were very pleased with their car's performance. It's a very rare occasion that we see Porsche having good time with their car, but this time around they're having a great time with it, and they said that they can definitely challenge if other teams are struggling the way that they think they are, and some teams have to do the 2-stop strategy, then they believe they can put themselves right into play. Well, let's find out then. Let's see if they can do that. Let's get straight into the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Yo, what's going on, guys? It is Foxydude here. Welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of the F1 journey for you guys today here on the channel. We're here for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. The first time around, we're here at Italy. If you guys end up enjoying the video, feel free to drop it a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here as well. Let's get this qualifying underway then. So as you can see, we're on our banker lap here now, getting our first lap on the board here, but unfortunately for us, we've hit the sausage curb there, and we're not even going to get our lap time on the board. We've gone straight into the wall there. I think it's at Tosa, but I can't remember the corner names around Imola, I'll be honest with you, but here it is then, a replay. So we clipped the sausage curb, we took way too much curb, turned in far too early, that unsettled the rear of the car into the wall, and we're starting last. Right, so here we go then. We're on the grid for the start of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and we're going to unfortunately have to do it from the back, but that is what we're going to have to do. Let's get this race underway then. Fight! Red lights here for the start, and we're underway then. It's a good getaway from us actually versus the rest of the field, but of course Piastri and Sainz alongside us now, barging wheels here. Now literally we're playing bumper cars with these two. They're on the medium compound tyres, and we decide the best thing to do in this situation is to just play it safe. Let's just not get ourselves into any form of contact. We've already started this weekend off badly. Let's just try and get through in one piece this time around. So again here, just being nice and patient, not going in and making silly dive bombs. It's hard to do it around this track, but we're going to go for it now. Down the inside here, and again you can see there, Ilott not really giving me any space at all there. That's into the grass there, but we do make a little bit of contact with Carlos Sainz, which we're warned about, but unfortunately for us, we're through in one piece, and this time around, not going through and smashing the curb there and losing our wings. So we now go through, flying in towards the middle sector here, and as you can see now, it's a great run there. First is Piastri, and now we're going to try and make the run on Oscar. Now down into the chicane here, braking nice and late here, and the job is done. Very close there to the back of Lando Norris there, who's had a bit of a difficult qualifying session, down in 16th place. Not really where he should be looking, as I think Verstappen there is trying to find a way through on one of the cars here. We're going to dive it down the inside here on Lando Norris. Lovely overtake there from us. Round the second Ravazza and onto the start finish straight. Lewis Hamilton leads the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. The Tifosi will be going crazy for Hamilton right now as we go onto the straight here and trying to make our way towards Stoffel Van Dorn in the Ford now. Verstappen here is alongside one of the... No, Verstappen not alongside anyone. It's the cars ahead there. Van Dorn though goes for a crazy dive bomb there on Verstappen, and Van Dorn's made it stick. Fair play to Stoffel Van Dorn. What a move there from him as we now try and make our way on Verstappen, but we break a little bit too late there in the second chicane, and that's cost us a place on Verstappen and also on Norris. I tried to dive it back up the inside of Lando Norris there, but I decided to think better of it, and that was a little bit clumsy there from us, down in 17th place. Having a look at the start features, now I can see what you're thinking. Why the hell is there an Aston Martin on the front row of the grid of Theo Porcher? And I'll tell you what the reason for it is. I have no idea. When I DNF'd, when I crashed in qualifying, and I literally just set my, obviously click retire from session, I just had a look at the grid sequence, and well, here was Porcher in second place. So, you know what? It is what it is. And he actually got a better start than Lewis Hamilton, a better traction off there. But the Ferrari has got better straight line speed overall than the Aston Martin. He's able to hold that one in there. A little bit of a scare, though, for Lewis Hamilton, because Porcher did actually get the better start out of the lot of us, as we're now going to go down the inside here of Lando Norris into the first Ravazza, getting the place back off of him, but we actually went onto the gravel on the first part of the Ravazza, compromised us on the second entry in towards Ravazza 2, and now we're under pressure here from Lando Norris. It's going to be a drag race between the pair of us now down the straight here. No DRS enabled yet, so it's just on pure straight line speed now between myself and Norris. None of us can be separated on the straights. It's going to have to be done on the brakes, and we go around the outside into the first part of the chicane, take the inside for the second phase, leave Norris out to dry, and that's going to be a great overtake from us there. So we've got a massive kerfuffle of cars here of Mick Schumacher and Charles Leclerc here now. Mick Schumacher round the outside of Charles Leclerc into the hairpin. Let's see if Mick can hold on into this position, or will Leclerc get the run here as they now make their way down in towards the area where we made our crash in qualifying. We've got a yellow flag though, a little bit further up ahead then, so someone's had a bit of a problem there. That was one of the Red Bulls there. It's Daniel Ricciardo that's out of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, because we just saw Sam fly through there on the picture, so bad news there for Red Bull and for Ricciardo. He is out of this race, and here's Theo Porcher doing a great job here defending against Nick De Vries. He covers off De Vries. Look at it, look at De Vries. He's trying every angle to get this move done on Theo Porcher, but eventually into the chicane, Theo Porcher has to concede the place there, and this is very unusual territory for Porcher as we go further back here. Sam is under pressure from Perez. Leclerc now might just try and go down the inside of Sergio Perez. He is going to do that, is Charles Leclerc, and he puts them both off there as they now go through in towards the hairpin. Let's see if Sergio Perez can get his muscles out and hold off against Leclerc. Now as they go on to the straight here, up in towards the middle sector, Sam's going to be loving this because it gives him a little bit of a buffer now as Leclerc tries it on Sergio Perez, and unfortunately for Leclerc, he's not got the job done. Perez now towards the inside line. Perez has to back out of it, and he's lost the position there. Rewinding a couple of seconds, here we are in the exact same lap as that battle was going on here, stuck in 14th place now. We really need to try and get a move on in this Grand Prix, but it is only lap 4 of 32. Diving it down the inside though of Verstappen. This chicane here is where the player is so much faster than the AIs. You just have to wing it and just go for it, and you are much faster. In fact, the final sector, the player is certainly much quicker than the AIs, and now that's what we want to do here. But of course, Like I said, it is only lap 4:32, so yes, we're in 13th place. Not, you know, making the normal progress that we probably want to be making, being stuck in all this traffic, but it's a hard track to overtake here at Imola, and we're going to try and make another one here, just giving Van Dorn a little bit of discomfort here. He actually tries to go for it there on George Russell, but into the chicane, the same move as we've done multiple times before. Van Dorn is out of the way, and now as you can see here, we're making our way up towards P11 now. This is George Russell here on the medium compound tyres, doing something different in this Grand Prix to everybody else. Not really recommending the medium tyres around Imola, but you know what, if you've got great tyre wear, then crack on with it. But now as you can see here, again, purple final sector, showing that we've got the pace through here. Russell's got the DRS, but we've got it as well. Using our battery here, we've crucially got way more slipstream because we're much closer to Russell in towards the first set of corners. There's contact between ourselves and George Russell there. Russell's gone for a spin into turn 1. Was that our fault though? Let's have a look though. So as we go onto the straight here with the DRS now, into the first chicane here, as we swoop around the outside there. Oh, and we just made contact there with Russell's front right. Let's have another look here from Russell's perspective now as we go through into the first corner here. To be honest, not being biased, but you can see that we gave him plenty of room there into the first corner. I'm going to have to deem that one a racing incident. Let me know in the comments though. Did you think that was my fault? Was that Russell's fault? Was it a racing incident? You can let me know. Right, let's get back on with the race though. We've got no damage, so we're carrying on in this Grand Prix. Bottas is next on our hit list in the Porsche, currently running in the points, which is a stellar job from Valtteri Bottas, but unfortunately I kind of want that position here on the exit of the second Ravat, so we get a great run through there. Now we've got the DRS here, and this could potentially be a triple overtake, and we're going to try and make it that one. We're going 4 wide now on the start-finish straight here, but we breeze past Mick Schumacher, Sergio Perez, and Valtteri Bottas, all done in one straight there. And when I said earlier that we really need to start getting some overtakes done, well, we've done that in fine Vettel there, because we're now up into 8th place in this Grand Prix. Next up the road is Charles Leclerc, but he is about 3 seconds away, so we've got a little bit of work to do before we get to him. Back on board though with Theo Pourchaire, who's still holding his own in this race. He's having a fantastic Grand Prix. In fact, he's not on the defence anymore. He's on the attack here because De Vries now is under pressure from Pourchaire into the first corner. Here comes Rees though as well, trying to dive it. Jesus, Rees has gone for a massive move there into the first corner. How he hasn't made contact with anybody there, I have no idea, but he's now going through into turns 3 and 4, and Rees has gone around the outside of Sergio from Nick De Vries there. What a sensational attack. Here's Pourchaire now trying to go down the inside here, trying to praise Rees there for probably one of the most ballsiest moves I've ever seen. Look at the defence there from De Vries, really trying hard now to stop Pourchaire coming at him now as they go through in towards the high-speed left-hander. Now down, as we can see, they're going to go 3 wide through here. That's never really going to work out. Pourchaire, unfortunately, doesn't get the move done. Back on board now with De Vries' teammate Sergio Perez. He's chasing after Valtteri Bottas in the Porsche car. And for Valtteri Bottas, it's not going to be a great day, as he's going to unfortunately lose the place. Or in fact, I thought he lost the place there, but unfortunately he does now. On the exit of the chicane there. That is an easy job done for Sergio Perez. He carries on his way here, and you can see now that Bottas tries to have a look there at Sergio Perez once again, but Valtteri, unfortunately, is not close enough. So we've got a dive bomb there from Stoffel Van Dorn here on Mick Schumacher now. So the Ford car's getting very interested in all of this. Now Schumacher goes heavily defensive there as they exit the hairpin, and Schumacher does indeed hold the place there. Lap 10 of the Grand Prix now, and we've caught up to the back of Sam and De Vries. It's taken some time, but we're onto the back of them. In fairness though, they have been battling, so that's kind of one reason why I've really caught up to them quite quickly now, as the DRS is wide open here. Sam now has got it on De Vries. So now we're going to see if we can try and make this a double overtake here. We're going to go to the outside of De Vries. Sam's gone to the inside of De Vries. Now we're side by side with Sam into the first corner. Round the outside we go, and we just about hold on to the position there. And round we go, and that is a great overtake there to get past Sam and De Vries now. Fancy to run here on Sam, going into the second chicane, but it is going to be all good for Sam. He is going to stay in front of De Vries, but we get a double overtake in there. Lovely bit of play there. Lap 12 of the Grand Prix now, and we're about 1.1 seconds here clear of Sam, 1.3 now, as we now go in towards the end of the first stint, and it is time to box. We're going to get off these soft compound tyres and get onto the set of the hard tyres to take us to the end of the Grand Prix. And you can see that there's a couple of drivers carrying on their way, but for us, we're coming in and we're going onto a set of the hards. I think we actually held up one of the cars as well then in all of that. I think it was one of the McLarens we managed to hold up there, but as you can see, there's a side-by-side moment there going down the straight. But we're not focusing on that because I'm a bad race director, and we're focusing on me. as we now make our way towards the exit of the pit lane. A very long pit lane there, as again, that's Perez there trying to go for a move there, and I think that was poor chair in all of that. But for us, we're now comfortably in P10. But interestingly enough, both Theo Porcher and Sergio Perez have come in early, and they've gone onto the soft compound tyres, so they're committing to a two-stop strategy. And around Imola, that's not the best thing you really want to be doing, because the pit lane loss is so high. Somebody that's suffering with a loss of time here is Lewis Hamilton, because he's trying to fight with George Russell here. Of course, Hamilton is our net race leader in this Grand Prix. He's been unchallenged, really, all the way through, but now he's suffering a little bit here, because Hamilton is now under pressure from George Russell, and he's going to lose time here now, going in towards that right-hander, because the guy on the outside seems to always play the better card here. Now onto the start-finish rate here. Hamilton can get back on the DRS and get back past George Russell, but he's under pressure here, because that is Pato O'Ward right behind there. It's not Reese, interestingly enough, in the McLaren that's causing the pressure. It's Pato O'Ward that's doing all the work at the moment for McLaren. Of course, Reese has been the man throughout the course of this season. Speaking of Reese, here he is actually, under pressure here from Sergio Perez, and this is to be expected, remember. Perez tries to go to the outside, fakes it to the inside, doesn't work. Good defending from Reese. Of course, remember, Perez is on the soft tyres, Reese is on a set of hard tyres, so this is why Reese is struggling a little bit now, as Sergio Perez tries it into the chicane. Contact made between the pair of them now as they swoop right down in towards the Villeneuve chicane. Coming up now, let's see if Reese can stay in front. He does so, but now the Oscar, I can't even get their names right. Perez has gone off the track there. It was Theo Porcher that tried to make a move into the Villeneuve chicane versus Sergio Perez. Perez has gone and got flustered by that, gone offline, and he's really ruined his chances. Now back on board here with Lewis Hamilton now, who's under pressure here from Charles Leclerc, a man that was also on the soft compound tyres. Another guy going for the two-stop in this race. He passes Lewis Hamilton with absolute ease here. Now onto lap 18 of this Grand Prix. Unfortunately for Pato O'Ward, things are about to go south here, because he's now under pressure from his own teammate Reese. And unfortunately, I did hear it during the Grand Prix. Pato O'Ward has got some kind of mechanical problem, and unfortunately it's meant that what has been such a great race so far for Pato O'Ward is unfortunately going to be disaster now for Pato, because unfortunately for him, he's lost out and he's losing pace, and he's going to be, well, he's obviously been passed by Reese. Luckily, they didn't lose too much time, but unfortunately, it's now meant that I'm right on the back of Pato O'Ward, and I fancy that third place that's up for grabs here as we now go down in towards the first of the Ravazzas here. We're going to break nice and late versus O'Ward down the inside there, and it's a shame for Pato O'Ward, but as we now make our way through the second Ravazza onto the start-finish straight, we are ahead, and you can see the gap that we're pulling on O'Ward already. But unfortunately for me, I have made that overtake, but I completely forgot O'Ward's got DRS here now on this straight here, so let's see if he can try and make a move here. He's going to go for it. He's actually dumping everything he's got here for this one, but we'll cover it off down the inside into turns 1 and 2, and that is safe from Pato O'Ward. And unfortunately for Pato, he's going to now just start losing time, because he's got a mechanical problem in this Grand Prix. Lap 22 of the Grand Prix now, and we're getting in towards the later stages of this race. Mick Schumacher under pressure from De Vries. He's going to cover him off, but De Vries there is going to try his hardest to make this move stick, but Schumacher is no slouch, and he's really going to try and battle this one as much as he can now down in towards the Villeneuve chicane here. Let's see what Schumacher can do, and unfortunately for De Vries, I think he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. He'll try and dive it though, down the inside into the hairpin, so he does do that. So let's see if De Vries can make the move stick. No, Schumacher holds the position, and he can defend that one quite nicely. Pato O'Ward now, I said that O'Ward was struggling in this race, and unfortunately he's going to lose another place here, because here comes Sam now with the DRS here, and he's going to breeze past Pato O'Ward, and it's been quite a quiet race actually for Sam, but there he goes, making the move on Pato O'Ward, and he is through and ahead of the McLaren driver. Lap 24 of the Grand Prix here, and one driver struggling a lot there was Sergio. Is that De Vries actually? Sorry, is that Perez? I can't quite tell from the T-cam there. It's De Vries there that's struggling, goes super wide there on the exit of the chicane, and he's really struggling, is Nick De Vries. I wonder if De Vries has got a problem in this Grand Prix, because he's falling backwards now down the field, and you can just see how slow he was through that chicane there that Piastri managed to get through on him. Now all of a sudden, he's got Callum Ilott to deal with on this back straight now as they blast their way down onto the start-finish straight. De Vries will have some DRS here, but he's going to be under huge pressure now, because here comes Valtteri Bottas, also Charles Leclerc. They're all boxed in, trying to battle each other here. Nobody wants to give each other an inch now as they go through, but Leclerc makes a massive dive bomb there into the first corner, and he's up 3 places and all that. He got boxed in, but somehow he's found a way to get himself through, and Charles Leclerc makes a triple overtake, and credit where it is due. But for De Vries though, it almost looks like he's got a problem, but he's still able to keep in range here, because now he's on the back straight here, on the start-finish straight, sorry, and he's making a move now on Callum Ilott, and he's actually made it stick there. Bottas now trying to go for a move down the inside of Ilott, round the outside for the second part of the chicane. Bottas makes it stick. Great overtake there from Valtteri Bottas. Now Ilott under pressure here from the second Audi car of George Russell. Of course, Russell started this race on the medium compound tyres, dives it down the inside now of Ilott here. It's going to be a little bit scrappy between the pair of them, but Russell should get the better exit here. Interestingly enough though, George Russell there getting out-dragged now by Callum Ilott. Also, Russell is on the hard compound tyres. Now, why is that quite strange? Remember, Russell started this race on the medium tyres, so he's actually gone on a slower race strategy here, and it's really compromised him, crucially, because he's stuck now in a Ford sandwich, and it's going to get even worse here, because he's behind the 2 Fords in the detection zone, and he just gets swamped by the pair of them now as they go in towards the first corner. They are going to battle, though, is Van Dorn and Ilott, so let's see who comes out on top between the 2 Ford drivers. Looks like it's going to be Ilott, but Van Dorn will hold it in there for as long as he can. Stop Van Dorn backs out of it. It's Ilott's position. So that's a little bit strange there, that one. As Leclerc now continues his drive here. He's on the medium tyres, of course. He's doing the 2-stop race, which, again, Imola's such a heavy pit lane loss compared to any of the circuits. It's quite an unusual strategy to be doing. And Leclerc there passes Bottas, but quite a strange one here. Lap 27 to start lap 28 of the Grand Prix though. Lewis Hamilton still leads this Grand Prix, but for me though, the main target is catching and passing Reese. And as you can see here, I'm getting closer to Reese. I've been chasing this entire second stint to get to the back of Reese. This just shows what the pace is like versus myself and Reese here. I've been trying so much to get onto the back of him, and onto lap 28 again though. We just go a little bit wide on the second Ravazza, 6 tenths per second back. Both me and Reese though, crucially, we are catching Lewis Hamilton, but we're probably going to run out of laps to get onto the back of Hamilton here. But as you can see now, on the start-finish straight here, can we get onto the back of Reese? Can we pass him? Not quite, but unfortunately, again, looking to turns 1 and 2, the back end slides, we take too much curb there, and that's where I'm struggling the most, but we get a very, very good end to the lap here. We're now just 3 tenths of a second behind Reese now as we go into the first Ravazza. Great entry and exit through there. Now into the second Ravazza. Exit done. Now we're on to the start-finish straight here. We've got a chance here to go for second place in this Grand Prix. After starting last in this race, we could be on for something really special here in this Grand Prix as we make our way round past Reese and into the second place now in the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Lovely move there on Reese. No one was going to be able to defend against that one. And now as you can see here, Reese is on the back of us now as we go through into the second chicane. We go a little bit deep though in the second phase of the chicane. Put the grass. Oh, that was so close there to contact. But we put a wheel in the gravel just like we did, remember, at the start of the race when we got passed by one of the Jaguars. I think it was Lando Norris when we tried to make a move on Verstappen there. And yeah, just again struggling in that chicane. The first sector has been proving really tough for me in this Grand Prix, and now all of a sudden I find myself back behind Reese. But it's not the end of the world because we're 3 tenths of a second, 4 tenths now behind Reese here. There's plenty of time to go. Oh, there's not actually plenty of time, and we go a little bit late on the brakes there again, so still struggling for performance here. But now we're going to dump the battery here and try and get back onto Reese. I need a perfect final few corners here. Unfortunately, by the looks of it, there's a lot of jump cuts in this video. I didn't realise until I was editing it, a lot of the footage was heavily corrupted for this race, but it doesn't matter because now we're going to go for it on Reese again, putting a wheel on the grass more like as we get past Reese for a second time now in this race, and into turns 1 and 2. We get the move done, back end slides a little bit through there, and now as you can see, we've just got to defend the position. Reese though is using his battery, I know that, but this time around, be more cautious through here, and that's a bit more on the gravel there. Reese though is trying to look at us though, and so we're going to defend the position by just putting the car in the middle of the track and holding the position there. But yeah, as we now go through onto the last lap of the Grand Prix, we've got a 1.2 second lead here. We've got Theo Porcher though right onto the back of us here, which is not not comforting at all, but that's fine. So we now go through in towards the chicane here, braking late into the hairpin. Porcher's gone for a move on us, and he's made contact here. We've made contact with Reese as well on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Chaos and drama as Reese now is going to get the run here. We're going to have to use our ERS to try and defend this position. Round the down the inside though, Reese though sweeps around the outside here, and Porcher goes on through after that. Now all of a sudden we find ourselves in a bit of calamity here because Reese now has retaken second place in this Grand Prix. Verstappen now is all over the back of us as we go through in towards the chicane, absolutely nailing that. Now we've got to go for it here versus Reese, using the ERS to our advantage, but Reese is using it as well, getting closer towards the back of the McLaren, diving it down the inside. I'm just not close enough to go for a move. Lewis Hamilton has won the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, but for us though, we've just been robbed of second place by Theo Pourchaire, and across the line, we've lost second place. It is third place on the road. Theo Pourchaire, here's a replay of it as we go through now. Why is he going for this? Why is he going down the inside and just making a lunge? Oh, what's the point? I genuinely don't understand it. And Reese here is sitting in happy dreamland right now because he sees me making contact, and oh, that was so close to damage there from Reese. But look at that though. What I didn't realise till I was editing this video is as soon as we got off that hairpin, Reese went straight into overtake mode, and as soon as he finished braking, you see there, nice move though around the outside. I actually turned into that corner way too early. Even Verstappen, look, is trying to have a look at me there. I don't know what Reese was doing. I really don't, and not Reese, sorry, Pourchaire was doing. And yeah, we've lost second place because of that. But one man that hasn't lost his mojo is Lewis Hamilton. He is the winner of the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, and for the first time this season has won for Ferrari. I think it might actually be the first time that Lewis Hamilton's won for Ferrari. I can't remember. To be honest, I can't remember if Lewis Hamilton was at Ferrari last season or not. I don't think he was. Anyway, Reese takes second place though in the Grand Prix, finishing 8 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton, with myself finishing in third. Sam comes across the line to finish in 4th place, with Pato O'Ward finishing in 5th, with Mick Schumacher crossing the line in 6th. Charles Leclerc finishes the race in 7th place, and let's give a shout out to Oscar Piastri. Piastri manages to finish in 8th place for Aston Martin. What a fantastic drive for Oscar. Carlos Sainz as well, a brilliant drive from him to claim Porsche's first points of the season, finishing in 9th place, and Nick de Vries crosses the line to finish in P10. The second half of the table is Valtteri Bottas, just misses out on the points in P11, with Van Dorn finishing in 12th. Pierre Gasly, unfortunately for my teammate, not a good race for him, 13th on the road, just a 10th off of Van Dorn in the end. He clearly had some problems. Same too with the Jaguar cars, Lando Norris being the first, finishing in 14th place, with George Russell finishing in 15th. His strategy really didn't work out. Callum Ilott finishes down in 16th place, with Sergio Perez finishing in 17th for the second Mercedes. Again, a difficult race for him. Theo Pourchaire in the Aston Martin, despite starting on the front row of the grid, he committed to that 2-stop strategy, and it was not the way to go. And in the end, he ended up making a late final pit stop. I think he actually had damage because he made a late final pit stop and smashed into me, which was great. Verstappen also finished a lap down. I think he must have had some problems as well. He actually got the fastest lap of the race though, with a 1 minute 10.2, but finishing outside of the top 10, that counts for nothing. And Daniel Ricciardo finishes in P20. He didn't even finish actually, didn't he? He retired at the race from like lap 3 onwards, so bad luck for Ricciardo. How does that affect the Drivers' Championship standings? Well, let's go and have a look then. So Sam now still leads this World Drivers' Championship, but his championship lead has been cut to 4 points. It could have been cut to 1 point had I not been crashed out by Pourchaire, but at the end of the day, the crucial thing is we finished in front of him. That's all that matters. Lewis Hamilton is third in the championship, 22 points behind Sam at the top of the championship standings, with Reese fourth with 92 points, 31 points behind. Mick Schumacher is fifth in the championship with 74 points. He remains 49 points back from Sam in the championship. And as things are currently going, it looks like we're looking at a 5-way fight between the two Ferraris, Reese, myself and Sam for the championship. Daniel Ricciardo is on 44 points after his DNF, with Sergio Perez on 43 points and Charles Leclerc on 42 points. All of them very closely matched. Pato O'Ward puts himself back into the top 10 in the championship standings after a difficult race, but still a decent one, on 39 points. And Nick de Vries has got himself into P10 in the championship with 38 points. The next race is the F1 Journey Austrian Grand Prix, and let's go and have a look at the Constructors' Championship and see how that's flipped things around. And there's a crucial one at the bottom of the table, but we'll obviously look everywhere else first. Ferrari extend their lead at the top of the Constructors' Championship. Of course, Red Bull had closed that gap, remember, but Ferrari here with their victory, and Schumacher also getting the points, and with only Sam picking up points, Daniel Ricciardo DNFing, that's given Ferrari a bit of a buffer. They're on 190 points, with Red Bull on 167. Ourselves in the Renault, we are on 151 points, with McLaren on 131. Mercedes stay on 81 points and stay where they are. Audi have moved to 54 points. Jaguar still on 41 points. Crucially though, with Aston Martin's race result here today, specifically Oscar Piastri, that's put them on 7 points, and that's leapfrogged them in front of Ford, who are on 6 points. That is crucial at the bottom of the championship, and Porsche have themselves 2 points. So every single constructor has now scored points. So let's go into the post-race notebook and see what the teams and drivers had to say. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be stuff that's said after the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. To wrap up this weekend, let's go and have a look at the post-race notebook. Lewis Hamilton takes victory for Ferrari on home turf, as late drama involving Tom and Theo Pourchaire colliding on the final lap allowed Reese to sneak in and take P2, Tom having to settle for P3. Lewis Hamilton has said it is a dream come true to win in Italy for Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton has had a very strong season so far, but this weekend he was on fire on Ferrari's home turf, taking pole position and leading the race to win. He said that there were some difficult moments though, obviously in the Grand Prix, especially when he was having to battle Charles Leclerc and George Russell on when they were on their alternate strategies, and of course that allowed Pato O'Ward to close the gap, but Lewis Hamilton held strong, especially when Reese and Tom were also closing him down. Tom has gone and hit out at Theo Pourchaire for their crash on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Theo Pourchaire was a lap down when he pitted on the second to last lap and came in for a set of soft compound tyres. He'd closed the gap towards Tom and went for a move down the inside into the hairpin, which Tom has said was an act of recklessness and complete cluelessness from the French driver, and has pretty much really hit out at Pourchaire. Pourchaire apologised for the incident, but that has obviously not helped Tom in his championship battle, losing crucial points. And of course, Pato O'Ward is another man that was frustrated after this weekend, and that was because his car suffered from reliability problems, as you'd expect from McLaren. They've been struggling all season long with reliability, but mechanical problems cost Pato O'Ward potentially a race victory, because he was in front of Reese and Tom in the mid stages of the Grand Prix, and with Reese and Tom finishing, well, they were about 3.5 seconds behind Hamilton before their incident with Pourchaire happened. That could have allowed Pato O'Ward, if he was that further in front, to have a go at Hamilton and maybe take his first win ever in Formula 1, so he's left frustrated with that. But we will see you guys next time around, where we go to the home of Red Bull. It is the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and we will see you guys then. But for now, I'm out. Take care all.